Hello everybody, and welcome back. Last time we explored the frontline ice base and we took down Blizzak Stagrov, therefore removing the final Neo-Arcadian army. This time we're going to be heading to the Neo-Arcadian headquarters and finally take down Copy X. Now, before we do that, I realized that I never showed the new EX skill that we just obtained, the Blizzard Arrow. So it is a buster shot and we need to have the ice chip equipped, otherwise it will not work. And there you go. It's a bit different from the other ones in the sense that it is not just a straight shot that also freezes enemies, but instead it actually shoots a couple of icicles. So it is rather interesting in that regard. But yeah, alright, let's change that, and I think we're ready. We have analyzed the enemy's movements. As a result, we have succeeded in determining the location of the Neo-Arcadian headquarters. It seems that Copy X and Bile are commanding the entire army from this base. If you strike here, you may be able to stop Neo-Arcadia. Are you ready? Zero. Come back safely, okay? Alright, let's go. Right, the lasers right here. Every time you trigger them, it will summon a couple of enemies, but they're not that difficult to dodge. My advice, once you trigger it, move slightly either back or forward, and then if you have a charged saber attack, you can take both of the enemies on front of them. And it's also a fairly decent way to get a perfect enemy score in this stage. I almost messed it up completely there, for no reason. So far so good. Okay, here we are. So, you've come, Zero. Do you know what you're doing? You're helping extremists. Why would a legendary hero help an evil army? So you're saying that we're an evil army, and you people are fighting for justice. Exactly right. Almost all humans support our cause. All humans dream of defeating the extremists. What value is there in the justice that complacent humans seek? Who cares about value? Neo-Arcadia is doing what's right. This is enough proof that what we do is just. Alright, so copy X. Because of the way he functions, he probably has the most amount of attacks of every single enemy in the Mega Man Zero series. I'm just going to wait there. That move right there, that was his EX skill. I'm going to rush through this fight because I'm not going to wait for him to do every single attack. I will show them to you near the end of the episode. And that move right there. In the original one, in Mega Man Zero 1, that was his EX skill, and it's basically him using a subton. No! Why? Why? I'm a hero! I fight for justice! Bile! Dr. Bile! Use Omega! Crush him in your hand! He is no longer here. Who are you? X. X? You are my original form? Bile has moved to another base with Omega. Bile was using you for his own purpose. Everyone treats me like a fool. I won't stand for it. Let me show you my true power. Ah! Oh no! Bile has placed a trap on your body. I can't move. Alright, let's see how we did. Pretty good, 98. We got the quick foot chip, and we got the EX skill of Copy X Mark II, the reflect laser. Right, let's head back to base. Huh? Bile knew from the start how things would turn out, so he must have rigged a trap on him to fulfill his true ambition. Hear me, citizens of the great land of Neo Arcadia. I must inform you of sorrowful news. Dr. Bile. Just now, our hero, Master X, was taken up by bloodthirsty extremists, and he has sadly passed away. So, in accordance with Ordinance Number 8, I, Dr. Bile, will become your new leader. It is time to put a stop to these extremists. Thank you all. I have just confirmed your approval. I will have to ask you all to do a number of things. Neo Arcadia cannot know true peace until the extremists are eradicated. Let us all fight together until they are wiped out. It's all going according to his plans. Dr. Bile, will he try to repeat the tragedy of the Elf Wars that ended a century ago? I'll look for Bile. I need you to help. Okay, I'll look for him too. I wanted to say something about Omega. What is it? Well, never mind. I'll bring it up again when the time comes. The heart is what counts, not the body. The heart. So, this is what it has come to. Dr. Bile as the ruler of Neo Arcadia. Those humans haven't been told a thing. No, that's not it. They haven't tried to learn a thing. Lives with plenty of food and comfort. People have stopped bothering to think with their heads. There may still be some people who want to do something. If we could somehow let those kinds of people know what Dr. Bile is really thinking, we might be able to change Neo Arcadia. Who is this Dr. Bile anyway? What has he been doing since he reappeared? If we can gather some information, we might be able to analyze it to determine where he is presently and what he's been doing until now. Okay, where do I need to go? Just tell me. Yes, but first, I'll save our data. I'm going to say no for now. We've isolated some locations for you to gather information. Select a mission, not right now. Whenever you're ready, just let me know. So let's quickly head back to Area X2 because we need to gather a bunch of secret discs. Alright, so let's talk about Copy X because, well, I'm not going to get another chance after this episode. So it was pretty apparent from the very beginning of the game that he wasn't going to be the main bad guy of the game. We already had Omega and Bile for that. So we're told from the very beginning that apparently it was Bile himself who brought back Copy X, even though he was already in the process of being regenerated, as we know from a line of dialogue from El Paiso in the second game. So that makes me wonder, did Bile just somehow sneak into Neo Arcadia and finish the process, or did he just create a perfect copy of Copy X from an undisclosed location? Because I don't see how he could have done either. I imagine that the security in Neo Arcadia is quite high, so I don't know if he would have been able to just sneak in, even with Omega in tow. But whatever. So we know that in recreating Copy X, he placed the bomb on him. And I wonder if he's the one that actually gave him the stutter, because the original Copy X didn't have that. So I wonder if that was just a byproduct of the regeneration process being rushed, or if that was just some way of Bile just fucking with him. Because in doing so, he does somehow remove some of Copy X's authority. The constant stutter does help to make him seem like not in as much control as he was, and he does make him seem rather weak. But yeah. Also, speaking of being weak, so we know that Copy X isn't as strong as the original X, even though his physical body, is supposedly a perfect copy. Let's disregard the fact that the original X never had an armor with angel wings or a second form or an armed phenomenon. Let's just ignore that for now. So there are two main reasons as to why he isn't as strong as the original X. The first one is battle experience. The original X lived through a period of constant wars, going back to the Maverick Wars, the Repliforce, and the Elf Wars. In fact, he probably only really saw peace near the end of his life, before he had to give up his body in order to seal the Dark Elf. Whereas Copy X was created and told that he had to fill the role of the legendary hero of a peaceful utopia for humans, meaning that he probably didn't really have to get involved in combat that much. He had the Neo Arcadian armies and the Four Guardians to do that. And the second reason ultimately comes down to his character or personality. So, if you take the Day of Sigma events as canon, you know that the original X had a total of 30 years of testing and diagnostics of his personality and character, and his morals, in order to ensure that when he was released, he would be a hero or savior for mankind. Whereas Copy X, of course, never had that. And in fact, you get some small explanation from Zero in Mega Man Zero 1 as to why Copy X isn't as strong as the original. Zero mentions how the original wasn't as naive, which never really felt like a particularly in-depth explanation. Because of that, I do prefer the line that we hear from Zero in one of the drama tracks. So, for the first Remastered Tracks album, the first Remastered Tracks album from Mega Man Zero 1 came with 5 drama tracks. They were called Ciel's Memories, because they were pretty much narrations by Ciel regarding main events during Mega Man Zero 1. The last 2 actually cover the brief conversation between Copy X and Zero near the end. They're called Ciel's Memories, Truth of Hero, and Ciel's Memories Epilogue. In Epilogue, we get to hear the conversation between an already defeated Copy X and Zero, in which Zero mentions that the reason that the original X was stronger is because he was a coward, in the sense that he was weak, he was filled with doubt, and he was humble. He didn't think of himself as a legend, as a hero. He didn't have the sense of arrogance, of pride that Copy X had. He learned to overcome his weaknesses, his mistakes. He learned to grow and mature, and in doing so, he ended up becoming the legendary hero. The hero that Copy X can only impersonate. So yeah, I mean, you can go into more detail as to why Copy X ultimately was as weak as he was, but that's the way I always thought about it. Now, before we head back to base, Copy X actually has one line of dialogue in his first form. Even though he has a ton of moves, he only has one line of dialogue. But in his second form, which is exclusive to Mega Man Zero 1, he actually has a couple more lines of dialogue. So let's go ahead and listen to all of them, shall we? Alright, now let's head back to base. Alright, so before we end things up here, I want to take a quick stroll around the base, because we can actually get a few more secret discs. And also, we got a new food chip from X. We got the quick food chip. So it boosts your running speed. However, since we already have ballet equipped, it doesn't seem to make a difference, and that is because you cannot stack the effects. So if you're going to have the quick food chip equipped, you might as well equip a different one. For now, let's see, what can we have? Let's use Sylphie, why not? I'm probably going to unequip her as soon as I can, but for now let's have her equipped. And also, we got a new EX skill, the Reflect Laser. It reflects upwards. I don't really like it that much because it's slightly smaller than the regular charge shot, and I don't use the C Buster that much, but yeah, there we go. Right, so let's take a quick stroll around the base. Oh, Mr. Zero, is it true that Dr. Bile is behind the Elf Wars? If that's true, do we even stand a chance? Oh my, it's just frightful. Yeah, okay, same line of dialogue. I do know exactly where the new secret discs are, but every single character, every single Resistance member actually has a different line of dialogue. Your efforts are an inspiration to us all, Mr. Zero. I'll wring Dr. Bile's neck myself if I have to. Okay. Even if Dr. Bile were to take over the world, even if my meager life were to just end, right up to that last moment, I'll believe in you. It ain't no joke when I call you the legendary rebel. Bet you didn't expect me to say that, Well, forget I even said it then. Dr. Bile, quite a nasty one, I'd say. That laugh of his gives me goosebumps. Hey, Zero! By the way, have you recalled your old memories yet? It's been a while since Ciel woke you, so I figured that you'd have recalled something after all these discussions. Can I test you? Sure. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, okay? The first one is about when Ciel discovered you. Ciel was looking for you underground, and a Reploid lost his life protecting Ciel. So, the question is, what was his name? That would be Milan. Okay, next. Who was in charge of the resistance in Ciel's absence? Do you remember? It was El Paiso. Okay, next. What is the name of the forest Highleg Orobuckle protected? It was the forest of Dices, I think. Wow, incredible! All correct! Alright, I'll give you this. Use it well. And we got the 173 secret disc. So, Whippersnapper, the resistance base has really been active lately. Are we going to be relocating again? Figures, just when I was beginning to feel settled. What's that? We're not moving. And here I thought we were leaving like we did last year. Is the Dark Elf's power as intense as people say? If that were true, it would be no surprise if another guy like Mr. El Paiso came along. Yep, same line of dialogue. What's Dr. Bile trying to accomplish? I wonder if he's planning on hoarding the E-crystals. If so, then my one enjoyment in life will be gone. Zero, at all costs, please stop Bile's scheme. Bile's scheme. I'm not good at much, so I respect you, Zero. I hope you continue to support us in the resistance. Miss Ciel and Dr. Bile are both scientists. How can they be so different in their thinking? It's just scary to think about. Yep, same line. Mr. Zero, Dr. Bile has finally showed his true colors. This was all he's doing from the very beginning. That Dr. Bile, what a pitiful soul. Mr. Zero, there isn't much time left. Dr. Bile is inching ever closer to his ambitions. Mr. Zero, please find him and defeat him! Yeah, there's nothing here. I don't know why, but I thought that there was somebody inside them. Keep up the good work, Mr. Zero. Even I don't want to have to work for that Bile guy. Besides, he probably had me scrapped anyway. Mr. Zero, even someone like myself hopes for peace. Conflict is tiring and meaningless. So, what about Bile? Zero, just don't lose to him, alright? I won't submit to Bile, even if he becomes ruler. I'll live my life as I please. Right. We still can go inside here, because Harbuya is still being treated. Regardless of what power Dr. Bile may wield, I can confidently say our resistance will never lose. That's because you, Ciel, and all of us are united together. Zero, you carry the hopes of all of us here. Oh, Zero, I'll give you this disc. I meant to hand it to you a second ago, then I blanked. But don't expect too much of it. Hey, Zero. What is Bile trying to accomplish? It's the scientist's job to plan for the future, right? But Bile is planning something terrible, isn't he? I just hate people like Bile. Zero, I'm scared. Even when I hold on to this little guy, I'm still scared. Zero, please stay. Don't ever go away. Right. If we check the computer here, we have some more information actually. Ciel is a human girl with an empathic connection to cyberdogs. Also, she is a highly talented scientist who has devoted herself to research on energies. She recently completed the Ciel system. And we also have a file on Menard. Menard is the coolest Reploid in the universe. He's the kindest, smartest, and most hardworking one of them all. I do not recall entering this data into my system. Commencing shutdown. Alright, let's talk to Servo. Oh, it's you, Zero. Dr. Bile is a dreadful person. Your missions from here on out will be harder than ever. Zero, be vigilant. Zero, I wouldn't be overstating things if I said the future rests in your hands. I believe in you. You can lead us to the future that Ciel envisions for us. It isn't luck or a miracle that you made it this far. It's proof positive that you are the legendary Reploid. Alright, let's actually check up the new discs and we'll end it here. We got the URIF, the book, Vice. So, if I'm not mistaken, Vice is the one rare hacker cyber. It has quite a useful effect. If you fully raise it, you can equip it and he will make it so every single item drop will have double its value. So for example, health pickups will restore double the amount and the energy crystals will have twice their value. However, it doesn't work for 1-ups. Those will still give you only 1. Delphina. Actually, hold on a moment. I want to check something real quick. Yeah, I was right about Vice. Yeah, Delphina has a somewhat similar effect. So Vice and Delphina work together really well. Delphina will make it so the drop rate for items will be higher. So yeah, it is quite a useful one for grinding E-crystals. Right, let's go back to the secret disk screen. Basras. So, similar to Rodoras and Boomeras, this one will give you a +1 power to your C Buster. Sabras. The same, but it will give you a +1 power to your C Saber. Metela. We got 100 E-crystals. We got a file for Copy X. For the ceiling cannon. For Hirondelle. For Doit. And that's it. Alright. So, we took down Copy X, but unfortunately, now a new tyrant has risen to take his place. Next time, we'll go on a set of missions to try and collect more information on Dr. Bile. See you guys then. Ah! Did you see that? I am the true hero!